The dazzling lights illuminate the grand ballroom at a luxurious hotel in Beverly Hills. A woman in a plain, single-colored dress steps inside, her eyes filled with hope. A security guard immediately blocks her way, his tone cold. "Sorry, this area is reserved for VIP guests only. You definitely don't belong here." The woman stands frozen, her eyes welling up with tears, but she bites her lip, holding back her emotions. Emma Carter, 34, a talented but underappreciated interior designer, steps into her modest yet cozy apartment in Brooklyn. The walls are adorned with her handcrafted designs, a mix of rustic elegance and contemporary style, each piece holding a story of her struggles and perseverance. Emma is wearing a simple, cream-colored dress. It's not designer, but it's neat and understated, just like her. Today, she holds an invitation to a prestigious VIP event at a luxury hotel in Beverly Hills. The event is meant to showcase top designers' latest collections. Emma's heart races as she stares at the invitation. This event could be her golden ticket, a chance to introduce her new collection, the one she poured her soul into over the past year. But as she glances at her reflection in the mirror, doubt clouds her eyes. Will they even take her seriously? The grand ballroom of the luxury hotel in Beverly Hills is buzzing with chatter and clinking glasses. Crystal chandeliers hang high, reflecting the opulence of the event. In the center of it all stands Veronica Hale, a striking woman in her late 30s. She's a well-known business mogul, draped in a designer gown adorned with sparkling gems, her confidence radiating as she commands the attention of a small crowd. She raises a glass, boasting about her latest line of lavish, overpriced furniture pieces. "They say my collection will redefine luxury." "Well, of course, not everyone can afford to have a piece of me in their home," Veronica says, her words dripping with smugness. Just then, she notices Emma standing awkwardly near the entrance. Emma, in her simple dress, is clearly out of place amidst the extravagance. Veronica narrows her eyes, a sly grin spreading across her lips. She raises her voice, ensuring everyone nearby can hear her. "Oh wow, I didn't know the hotel started letting the staff into the VIP section," she sneers, eyeing Emma up and down. A few people chuckle, and Emma's cheeks flush red. Her fingers tighten around the small portfolio she's holding, a collection of her designs, each piece painstakingly crafted over months. Emma takes a deep breath, fighting back the sting of humiliation. She swallows hard, forcing herself to remain composed. Veronica takes a delicate sip of champagne, smirking as she turns away, her laughter echoing in Emma's ears. Emma moves to a dimly lit corner of the grand ballroom, her shoulders slightly hunched as she tries to avoid further humiliation. She clutches her portfolio tightly to her chest, eyes scanning the room for anyone who might be interested in her work. Her heart pounds as she spots Mr. Parker, a renowned interior design investor, standing across the room. Summoning every ounce of courage, Emma steps forward, taking slow, measured breaths. Just as she's about to approach Mr. Parker, a chillingly familiar voice cuts through the air, "Veronica." Veronica strides forward, her heels clicking against the marble floor, a smug smirk on her perfectly painted lips. Beside her is a burly security guard. Veronica raises a manicured finger, pointing directly at Emma. Her voice is loud, dripping with contempt. "She's not supposed to be here," Veronica sneers, ensuring that everyone within earshot hears her. "I saw her sneaking around. Clearly, she's not a guest. Get her out of here." The security guard's face hardens. He steps forward, blocking Emma's path. "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave," he says firmly, his tone void of empathy. Emma's cheeks flush crimson. Every eye in the room is now fixated on her, some with judgment, others with pity. She opens her mouth to protest, but the lump in her throat chokes back the words. "Wait, Emma stammers, glancing around desperately. Veronica folds her arms, her expression victorious. The security guard grabs Emma's elbow gently but firmly, leading her toward the exit. Emma bites her lower lip, fighting back the sting of tears as whispers and murmurs echo behind her. Who does she think she is, trying to sneak into a VIP event? I heard she's just a nobody, probably trying to get some attention. As the ballroom doors close behind her, Emma stands alone in the hallway, the muffled sounds of laughter and music lingering behind her like a haunting reminder. She takes a deep breath, the cool air stinging her eyes. Her hands tremble as she grips her portfolio tighter, her dreams seemingly slipping away with each passing second. Emma steps outside the Grand Hotel, the cold night air biting against her skin. The once vibrant sounds of laughter and music from the VIP event now feel like a haunting echo, each note a painful reminder of the humiliation she just endured. She lowers herself onto the stone steps at the hotel entrance, knees pulled close to her chest. Her hands grip the strap of her worn leather bag, the only thing that now holds her precious portfolio, the collection of designs she had poured her heart and soul into for over a year. Emma's mind replays Veronica's sneering voice, her words slicing through the night air like shards of glass. She's just a nobody. The words keep echoing in her mind, growing louder, drowning out every rational thought. Emma's eyes well up with tears. A single tear escapes and rolls down her cheek, leaving a cold trail against her flushed skin. She bites her lower lip, trying to hold back the sobs that threaten to escape. How could she have thought she belonged in that room? How could she have believed that her work was good enough to be seen by people like Veronica? She looks down at her bag, the one she had carried since college, a simple, faded leather satchel that held her dreams, her passion, and now, her deepest wound. Emma takes a shaky breath, wiping away the tear with the back of her hand. She lifts her chin, forcing herself to look up at the Grand Hotel entrance. The lights continue to glitter behind the glass doors, the silhouettes of elegant guests moving gracefully within. Mot que vio Dan. The words sting, but they also ignite something deep within her. A spark of defiance, a flicker of determination. Emma clenches her fists, her nails digging into her palms as she whispers to herself, "No, I won't let them define me. Not anymore." She stands up, shoulders back, eyes burning with a newfound resolve. For a moment, she glances down at her portfolio, the one filled with the designs she had painstakingly crafted, designs that she had once been so proud of. Emma inhales deeply, her breath shaky but steady. She takes one last look at the hotel before turning away, her mind already formulating a plan. Outside the Grand Hotel, the night air is still cold. Emma sits on the stone steps, her shoulders slumped, eyes fixed on the ground. The echo of Veronica's mocking voice still lingers in her mind, each word like a thorn digging deeper into her heart. Suddenly, a pair of polished black shoes comes into her line of sight. Emma blinks and looks up, her eyes meeting those of James Winston, a tall, imposing man in his early 40s. He's impeccably dressed in a tailored suit, his sharp jawline framed by a neatly trimmed beard. James's eyes widen in surprise. Emma's eyes widen too, a mix of relief and embarrassment flashing across her face. "James? It's been a while." James crouches down to meet her at eye level, concern evident in his gaze. "What are you doing out here?" Emma forces a small smile, but it's a fragile, trembling thing. "Oh, nothing. Just taking a break." James furrows his brows, noticing the tear stains on her cheeks. "A break? Outside in the cold." Emma hesitates, then sighs. "I was supposed to present my new collection tonight, but they didn't believe I was a VIP guest. They thought I was just some nobody." James's expression darkens, a flash of anger simmering beneath his composed exterior. He stands up, offering his hand to Emma. "They did what?" "Emma, you're one of the most talented designers I know. You don't deserve this." Emma shakes her head, feeling the weight of her humiliation pressing down on her. "It doesn't matter. People like Veronica Hale will always see me as nothing more than a nobody." James crosses his arms, his jaw set with determination. "Veronica Hale? That woman wouldn't know real talent if it hit her in the face." Emma lets out a small, humorless laugh. "Tell that to everyone inside. They all worship her." James looks down at Emma's bag, noting the corner of a design sketch peeking out. He bends down and gently pulls it out, his eyes scanning the intricate details of Emma's work. "This is your new collection?" he asks, his tone soft but intense. Emma nods, her eyes shimmering with both hope and doubt. "Yes, but no one got to see it." James carefully rolls the sketch back up, his gaze firm and resolute. "Then let's make sure they do. Let me help you, Emma. It's time they realize who they just kicked out." Emma blinks, her heart pounding as a flicker of hope reignites within her. James stands tall, extending his hand once more. This time, Emma takes it, allowing herself to believe, if only for a moment, that she is worth fighting for. James and Emma walk back into the opulent ballroom, the dazzling lights and elegant decor now feeling less intimidating and more like a stage set for Emma's redemption. James maintains a confident stride, his hand gently placed on Emma's back, a silent yet firm gesture of support. Emma takes a deep breath, her heart pounding as they weave through the sea of well-dressed guests. Eyes turn to look at her, some with confusion, others with disdain. Veronica, standing by the bar with a glass of champagne in hand, notices them immediately. Her eyes narrow, a flash of irritation flickering across her perfectly made-up face. James approaches a group of affluent investors engaged in a lively conversation. They are discussing the decor of James's latest office, the one Emma had meticulously designed. James clears his throat, drawing their attention. "Gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the genius behind the design of my office that you all admire so much." The investors look puzzled. "Wait, you mean the modern minimalist office with those custom-made marble pieces?" One of them asks, raising an eyebrow. James nods, a proud smile on his face. "Exactly. This is Emma Carter, the mastermind behind every inch of that space." Emma manages a small, hesitant smile. The investors' eyes widen, their expressions shifting from disbelief to genuine curiosity. "You're the designer?" another investor asks, his gaze softening. "I had no idea. That office is a masterpiece." Emma blushes, her fingers tightening around the strap of her bag. "Thank you. It was a labor of love." Another investor steps closer, studying her more intently. "I'm actually looking to renovate my office. Do you have any other projects I could see?" Emma opens her bag and pulls out a sleek portfolio. "Actually, yes. I brought my latest collection of designs." As Emma flips through her sketches, the investors lean in, nodding in appreciation. One investor even whispers to another, "She's good. Really good." Meanwhile, Veronica stands a few feet away, her jaw clenched, her eyes fixated on Emma. The sight of Emma receiving praise and attention, the very attention that Veronica had monopolized moments ago, causes her grip on her glass to tighten. James leans closer to Emma, his voice low but encouraging. "See? They're starting to see the real you." Emma's eyes meet his, a spark of newfound confidence flickering within them. For the first time that night, she begins to believe in herself again. Veronica's stilettos echo sharply against the marble floor as she strides toward Emma and James. Her expression is a mixture of forced politeness and barely concealed irritation. Her lips curve into a saccharine smile as she stops in front of them. "Oh, Emma," Veronica says, her voice dripping with feigned surprise. "I had no idea you were connected to James." Emma turns to face Veronica, her posture straight and calm. Her gaze is steady, unwavering. The humiliation she felt earlier is now replaced by a newfound strength. Emma offers a small, composed smile. "I don't need connections to prove my worth, Veronica. My work speaks for itself." Veronica's jaw tightens, her fingers curling around the stem of her champagne glass. "Well," she forces a laugh, "it's just surprising to see you here. You seemed a bit out of place earlier." James steps forward, his eyes fixed on Veronica. "Funny how quickly people can change their tone once they realize who someone truly is, don't you think?" Veronica's eyes flick to James, and for a moment, she's at a loss for words. The other guests, now aware of the tension, begin to murmur among themselves, glancing between Emma and Veronica. Emma holds her ground, her gaze still locked onto Veronica. "You know, Veronica," Emma says, her tone calm but firm, "you taught me a valuable lesson tonight. That sometimes the ones who look down on others are the ones who are truly out of place." A flash of anger crosses Veronica's face, but she forces another tight-lipped smile. "Well, good for you," she says, lifting her chin defiantly. "Enjoy the rest of the evening." Veronica spins on her heel and walks away, her steps more forceful than before. As she disappears into the crowd, James turns to Emma. "You handled that well." Emma exhales, releasing a breath she didn't realize she was holding. "It's not about what she said," Emma says, her voice softer now. "It's about what I believed about myself." James nods, his expression warm and approving. "And now?" Emma meets his gaze, her eyes alight with determination. "Now I believe." Emma stands at the center of the stage, a spotlight casting a warm glow on her. Her palms are slightly sweaty, but her eyes are steady and determined. James gives her a nod of encouragement from the front row, his expression calm yet supportive. Taking a deep breath, Emma steps forward. The room falls into a hush, all eyes on her. "Good evening, everyone," Emma begins, her voice clear and resonant. "Tonight, I want to share a story with you, a story of transformation, of turning what others deem worthless into something truly beautiful." She clicks a button, and a slideshow of her designs appears on the large screen behind her. Each piece of furniture is a masterpiece: a table made from reclaimed wood, a chair crafted from old, rusted metal, a lamp constructed from shattered glass pieces. Emma's gaze sweeps across the room, meeting the eyes of each guest. Every piece in this collection once had a past life. A wooden plank that was once discarded as useless, a metal frame that was rusted and forgotten, shards of glass that were shattered and overlooked. Her voice softens, becoming almost a whisper. Just like people, these objects had stories that others ignored. But instead of discarding them, I chose to see their potential, to bring them back to life. The audience leans in, captivated. Even Veronica, standing at the back, can't help but feel a pang of unease as she watches Emma command the stage. Emma clicks to the final slide, a photo of her signature piece. A stunning coffee table with intricate carvings, each line telling a different chapter of the object's past. "That table," Emma says, pointing to the screen, "was once a door in a tiny Brooklyn apartment. A door that opened to countless possibilities, just like the doors that we all open and close every day." She takes a deep breath, her voice steady and confident. "So tonight, I invite you to open your minds, to see beyond appearances, and to recognize the beauty in what the world may deem unworthy." For a moment, the room is silent. Then a single clap echoes through the hall, followed by another. Before long, the entire room erupts in applause. Some guests rise to their feet, giving Emma a standing ovation. James claps proudly, a warm, satisfied smile on his face. Veronica's expression is a storm of conflicting emotions: anger, jealousy, and perhaps a hint of regret. But Emma's eyes remain fixed forward, basking in the moment she had been denied earlier. Veronica stood near the back of the room, her elegant dress shimmering faintly under the chandelier light. She clutched her wine glass so tightly that her knuckles turned white. Her lips curled into a half-smile, but the tension in her jaw betrayed her true feelings. From beside her, a voice broke the silence. "That was remarkable," a distinguished man in a tailored navy suit murmured, nodding toward the stage where Emma had just stepped down. "She doesn't just design furniture. She tells stories through them." Veronica turned slightly, forcing a polite smile. "Yes, quite creative." Another woman, a prominent gallery curator, chimed in. "I'm thinking of inviting her to our summer exhibition." That message of transformation and value, very aligned with our theme this year. Veronica's smile faltered. Her fingers loosened slightly around the glass as reality began to settle in. These weren't just casual compliments. Emma had just gained the attention of some of the most influential figures in the industry. And Veronica, who had spent years carefully curating her image, hosting events, dominating spaces like these, had misjudged Emma from the moment she laid eyes on her. Inside, a storm was brewing. She thought back to her own words from earlier in the evening. "Toi kong beat kok sen nai bat dao cho nuoi fuk viu veo ku vuk vip tu kai now." Now those words felt like poison in her own ears. Emma hadn't needed to retaliate, hadn't raised her voice, hadn't demanded attention. She had simply let her work speak, eloquently, powerfully, unforgettably. Veronica lowered her glass. For the first time that night, she felt small, not because someone had made her feel that way, but because she finally saw how narrow her own vision had been. The applause had ended, but the shift in perception was permanent. A week had passed since the gala night. The buzz about Emma's designs was still alive in the design circles, and her name was appearing in online features, editorials, and even investor emails. But today, in a quiet corner of Brooklyn, something unexpected happened. The bell above the door of Emma's small but warm gallery chimed gently. Emma looked up from her notepad, surprised. Standing at the entrance, slightly hesitant, was Veronica Hale, dressed not in diamonds or silk, but in a simple beige coat and low heels. Veronica took a slow step inside. "Emma," she began softly, I came to apologize for what I said at the event." Emma remained calm. She set her pen down and simply smiled, genuinely, but without a word. Veronica glanced around. The room was filled with Emma's signature pieces, chairs made from reclaimed wood, tables embedded with fragments of stained glass, lamps formed from discarded copper pipes. Everything told a story, not just of style, but of resilience and rebirth. I judged you by how you looked, not by what you've created, Veronica continued, her voice more grounded than ever before. And it turns out, what you've created is extraordinary. Emma still didn't speak. Instead, she gestured toward a seat made of polished driftwood, subtle, graceful, unexpected. Veronica sat. I want to learn from you, she said quietly. If you'd be willing to teach me. Emma finally replied, her tone gentle. Redemption always begins with humility. The room felt still, not from silence, but from understanding. Two women, once adversaries, now found themselves facing something rarer than revenge, reconciliation. Evening sunlight streamed through the tall windows of Emma's newly renovated studio. She and James sat side by side, sipping tea, their eyes gazing out over the Brooklyn skyline, a city that had once ignored her, now quietly applauding her rise. James leaned back, his voice calm and sincere. You did it, Emma. Not with connections, not with power plays, but with raw talent and quiet perseverance. Emma turned to him, her eyes glowing with gratitude and confidence. She nodded slowly. Thank you for seeing me when others didn't. James smiled. Sometimes, all it takes is one person who believes in you. The camera panned toward the wall, where Emma's framed design plans now hung proudly. Each one a chapter in her journey. Each one a silent rebellion against judgment. Never judge someone by their appearance. The person you look down on today might be the one you admire tomorrow. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who needs this reminder. Thank you for watching.